Hello and welcome to Business Today. I am Siddharth Zarabi and with me now with our continuing live coverage from Davos, Anant Maheshwari, the President and CEO of Global High Growth Regions at Honeywell. Welcome to the show. Anant, how's your Davos journey so far been?
So Davos is always exciting. Thank you, Siddharth, for having me on the show. And I remember we were doing this exactly a year back here. So it's fantastic.
In equally freezing weather.
I'm getting used to it. but it's fascinating to be here. It's a great start to the year to meet everybody from around the world and see very different perspectives. It is a growth experience. It's a learning experience and an opportunity to do some business.
The world is also getting increasingly used to a platform shift that seems to be underway, Anand. After the age of the internet, the age of AI, generative AI, but there's a very interesting way that Honeywell describes it, which is deterministic AI, and I want to dive into that topic straight away. Explain the difference for those who wouldn't know what it is.
Thank you for the question, and if I just talk through that, and I've been in the world of generative AI prior to this, so I understand a little bit of the nuance difference there. As you look at generative AI, you're looking at a lot of structured and unstructured data, public data, that you're creating models on, and that gives you the recommendations on what to do. At times, you do not have full fidelity on the data that is being used to create those models. It is really picking a lot of information.
And the inaccuracies that might...
It could be. There could be some
hallucination
biases.
Or bias.
There could be some biases. There could be some hallucinations. There could be some other ways that it may not be absolutely accurate. Now, when you look at even as simple as driving a car, and you want AI in the autonomous driving, you need a deterministic solution.
Can't make even a single mistake.
You can't take probabilities.
Yeah.
You have to use data that is real all the time of the usage of that car. Now convert that into a refinery, convert that into a large building like an airport, convert that into utilities, convert that into an airplane. There it is even more that you need an absolute control over the data that is getting used. It is verified, and then you're creating the model and the inferences. So it's really something that the operator or the driver can be confident that this is something I trust.
So would simplistic comment on this, deterministic AI basically eliminates all guesswork out of what is otherwise generative AI?
I would say probabilities rather than guesswork. There is still probabilities there.
Yeah.
I think with deterministic AI, you're using a very strong data pool that you are confident of, which is use cases of the past.
Since you spoke about use cases for Indian companies across sectors, what opportunity does deterministic AI provide, and how should they approach?
So start at a very simple level. I think India is in a fascinating phase of build out. There is a lot of infrastructure getting built, lots of new projects are coming up. It is something that is quite unique on the planet at this point in time, because if you compare with other economies, there is not that much level of fresh investment that is going in. Now in that context, you need a lot of skilled people who should be experienced on these large projects. India is spending a lot of effort. It is great to see the government's initiatives on skilling, and that is definitely in the right direction. But there are roles in these critical facilities that you need 10 years of experience, that you need 20 years of experience to actually trust somebody on the front line of those facilities. Now AI can really help there because it can really make a person with 2 years of experience or even 1 year of experience operate with the same knowledge and inference that somebody with 30 years of experience may have, because what that does is it brings all of that knowledge at the fingertips of the person who's operating in the front line. And that is the simplest use case I would have to enabling India's growth, to empowering India's growth with this power of really bringing that knowledge to the frontline worker. Now that's in the front end, but even at the large scale implementations, there is optimization that you can do. You can increase productivity, you can increase the throughput of facilities, which is great for all the return on investment that a lot of investors look for.
Anant, Honeywell CEO Vimal Kapoor has been quoted as saying that the India business is going to be $1 billion revenue business. I wonder if you want to sort of, for our benefit, our viewers, expand on that.
So it's definitely something that I'm very proud of to see that the India business is continuing to grow. It's one of our fastest growth markets around the world, and more importantly, one of the most consistent growth markets around the world.
Like you said, build out stage.
Yeah, it is. It is exciting. We have a lot of investment in India. We've been there for decades, having more than 13,000 people on the ground, large manufacturing capabilities, very large research, development, and engineering capabilities that we have on the ground. We're able to partner with customers in a very deep manner to take new bets. There are many new projects that are coming up today with many partners in the country where they're taking very forward-looking bets on creating new capability in India. So it's not just about the $1 billion of revenue, but what's the content of that $1 billion of revenue? It's technology, it is really innovation and positioning India for even more growth ahead.
One of the key trends, a mega trend in the Indian context is the push towards green and clean energy. What are you doing there, and how do you see the effort panning out in India over the next few years?
Absolutely. If I look at the clean and green energy, as you mentioned, there are two things that you could look at, which is just the green electron, which is renewable energy that you may bring in, but there's also the green molecule. Which is really material science that's coming into play to drive a lot more sustainability in terms of the post-use of anything that we use. And Honeywell plays in both in different ways. I'll maybe, since your focus was really around the green electron, let me go there. I think one of the biggest opportunities for India is in biofuels. We truly believe that every country has a natural asset of raw feedstock that the country has, and that can really turn into an energy conversion for the country. I'll take an example. Brazil has used a lot of ethanol-based source to create jet fuel and refining capability. We have 40 potential projects happening there at this point in time. Now,
40?
Wow. In
That's
Brazil. Now, if you look at India,
number.
I think the number could be 100 times or even more than that on
Considering
biofuels.
the size of
The biofuels can really be massive because it can also create the ability to take bio-waste or even the agricultural waste and convert that into energy, which
and
can
solve many other problems.
there are lots of other issues that get solved, and then it creates small plants which are in small towns because you can't transport all of this for too much distance. So it's economical to do it where it is getting produced. It creates employment, it creates investment in many different parts of India, in towns and cities, which is exactly what I think the Prime Minister and the government of India is trying to do.
What other verticals will contribute to the kind of growth that you are seeing in India?
So, as you know, Honeywell operates in the future of aviation, the energy transition and automation. I would say India really checks the box on all three of them. Because future of aviation, you look at the investments that are happening in the airlines in India, in the airport infrastructure in India. It is truly one of the best markets that exist on the planet in terms of the cycle that we have of investment there. And we are working with all the key players in the space. If you look at the energy transition, we just spoke about it. I think it's both looking at traditional sources of energy, but also the future sources of energy. There's a lot of investment going into India. And more importantly, it's not just about economics and sustainability, it's about energy security. Because I think biofuels will provide energy security to India in the long run, because we know India is a net energy importer. And then finally, if I look at automation, massive play there, both in terms of the build out of buildings, critical assets, and also industry. So all three.
Absolutely. And you know, biofuels, the government of India over the last 10 years and now in the third term of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, one keeps hearing Nitin Gadkari, the Minister of Transport, talk about it. He's been a big champion of biofuels.
Yes.
I want to end this conversation by something that struck me as I was reading up. Honeywell sees 2025 as the year of industrial AI. Since we sort of started the conversation, let's end with that. The year of industrial AI. How does that really relate to a common viewer?
So I would say industrial AI seems complex. It is not. If you really talk to an operator in a plant or in a building, it's as simple as having safety. Fire safety is industrial AI at one level, because if there's a fire in a building, how fast can you respond to it? Can you really get the support there quickly? Now, Honeywell is amongst the biggest providers of that solution to every viewer. You may be not looking at it, but if you walk into a building and you look up, there is a fire detector up there keeping you safe. And how do you apply AI to service that fire detector, to make sure that it is working, to make sure that when the fire happens, it directs the support to exactly the right place immediately. So I'm just bringing a very simple example that really connects
Absolutely.
for every one of us, because I have a habit. I walk into a building and I look up and see if the fire detector is there or not. I don't think everybody else does. So.
And I hope you don't end up making a call to your sales guy if it isn't. Anand, there's so much more to talk, but in the limited time that we have on this conversation, you touched upon several points, including how you're contributing to India's energy security, and I wish you all the very best for that.
Thank you so
very
much
for your time. With
Thank
that,
you
it's
so
a
much.
wrap. We'll be back with more. Until then, goodbye.